Yes. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Saturday. And we've been, let's see, get everything straightened out here. Hello, Joanne and Eliza Ann. Very good to see you here. And it's a little bit chilly today. Where's my coffee? All right, let's just hope that okay, not a whole lot of people are here yet. Let's just hope that nobody asks about the coffee because I totally forgot about it. And my wife, who is so good at giving me coffee when I forget, is off now, so I'm alone here. So hey, CNC and Stephanie's here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Anne. So anyway, as many of you know, am getting ready for the December 2nd 8-hour live marathon, and I've been gathering. I will be getting confirmation from the guests this week that they are gonna ink it in, and then I'm going to be sending out an announcement to everybody about all the details. And hey, Tammy and Emmeline, hello. Well, some of the giveaways, I'm working on doing a giveaway, and some of the giveaways have come in. And I want to share everybody. Yeah, Joanne, 8 hours. How am I going to survive it? I don't know, but we're going to find out, aren't we? I've got, I am doing redundancies all over the place. I'm going to have Sean McNeely. He's going to be my backup just in case anything goes on with the internet or anything. He'll be able to be there. My voice gives out. He'll be able to be there. And so I've got all sorts of backups here. Hey, James. Hello. And Ron. 8 hours. Oh, yeah, Stephanie. Yep, 8 hours. So for those who don't know what I'm talking about, every year I take December and January off from doing podcast episodes. It gives me a nice break to recover, refresh, and plan for the next season, because every season I like having themes. And so December 2nd is going to be the last podcast episode, and I wanted to end the season in style. And so I decided our Saturday live on December 2nd is going to be an 8-hour marathon where I'm going to have guests every hour, and we're going to have giveaways every hour on the hour. And I thought that would just be an awesome thing to do. And so we're doing it. and we'll see how my voice hangs out. So lots and lots of coffee. Ain't that the truth? Hey, Bill, do you own any Crested Chameleon? Yes, I do, actually. Hello, Nicholas. Hello, Valerie. Welcome. And of course, I've started getting some of the giveaways. You can say this one is a refrigerator magnet. It's just a little thing that you can put your name of your pet, your vet phone number, and the emergency, because we all know things happen at Saturday night. And so you need the emergency vet number. And so these are just things I printed up, kind of fun things. I've got big things too. I was talking to Jim Reichbost with the log feeders, and so we've got a lot of different things to give out. Here's hello, Two Turtle Tom. Oh, about to join the club. I think I know what you are up to. Oh boy, you'll have to share with everybody what you're doing. Nicholas is working on my Christmas present. Okay, I don't know what this is all about. Here is another thing that I'm going to go for the giveaway. Everybody know what this is? All right, so here's I know some of you already know what this is, but for everybody else, guess what could this be? For what purpose would something like this be useful? Go ahead and put down your guesses in the chat. Michael says, Bill, I think I got some pet cemetery stuff. Oh, those eggs that sweated back in September, they hatched this week. Oh my goodness, they sweated in September and they hatched 2 months later? Wow. Oh my goodness. Liza Ann says, fog machine holder, Nicholas, and Liza, everybody. Okay, I guess that was obvious. But it's obvious because it's so useful. Yeah, and so this one is just one that goes on the side of your typical Reptibreeze, and you screw it in, so it is in there. And just put the fogger hose on here. You can go either from the side or from on top, however you want to, and it holds the fogger hose in because that is a pain in the butt, and we all know it, and we've all been frustrated. How do I get this fogger hose to stay in one place? So this does it. Hello, Anne Sophie Collin and Jennifer Van Pelt, branch holder. It is a, you know what? But Jennifer, we're going to be having branch holders at the on the as the giveaway because Jim Reichbos is going to be giving away some of his branch buddies. So yep, we'll get some of those too. When in doubt, guess fogger get. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty good, Stephanie. Yeah. Let's see. Two Turtle Tom says, after 2 years, I will be getting my first chameleon, a captive born Trocerus honelii. Oh, congratulations. You will enjoy that little, that's a helmeted chameleon. For everybody who's wondering what we're talking about, Trocerus honelii is a small live-bearing chameleon from Kenya. And it's quite rare, but oh my goodness, it is such a nice little chameleon. And it comes from so many different elevations that it's quite hardy. It'll go down to get those nighttime drops. See, something 3D printed. Speaking of which, did you ever finish your plant mount? I have my prototype of it. And it works. I just haven't developed it as a product. And when I say product, I mean something that I can just give to the chameleon community. As you all know, I mean, I'm making these fogger inputs as a giveaway item. But if any of you have a 3D printer, go to my last issue of the Chameleon Academy Journal, and you can download this file and you can print it yourself. So this is service to the community. We need this. So and yeah, everybody, if you are new to this, there is a digital magazine for the Chameleon Academy that talks about everything going on in the Chameleon Academy, whether it's the episodes or the live sessions or the people I meet, the places I go, the conventions. And it's just a magazine for us in the Chameleon community. I won't even say Chameleon community, for the Chameleon Academy community. So it's about what's going on in our little community. And you can find this digital magazine by going to chameleonacademy.com. And I have a big magazine cover right there on the front. You click that and you can go take a look at the magazine. It is there just for us in the community to enjoy. It's not gonna, there will be some things that I do only in the magazine just because that's a good place to put it, like files, 3D printed files that you can download for free. But it's mainly for us to just enjoy. And I have so many information outreaches all over, whether it's website or podcast and stuff. So it's not like, I mean, you've got all the information you need, and you've got kind of a fire hose of information coming from me. So this is just meant to be something we can enjoy. And I love putting it together. It is so therapeutic for me to put together a magazine. So it's how I enjoy doing it, and I hope you enjoy reading it. But it's there for you. There are some special deals in there, some special offers, things to download, and so it's more than just a magazine. So Nicholas says, Bill, I got my eggs starting to sweat 2 days ago. Excellent, congratulations. Liza Ann, will you sell those items for people that don't have a 3D printer? Liza Ann, yes, I'm thinking about doing that. I'm probably going to do that. Thing is, I need to refine it just a little bit more before I sell it. But I'm thinking about doing that. I should do that just so people who don't have a 3D printer can actually get it done too and have benefit of this too. So yeah, I will do that. I don't know when, but I'll get that together because I think it's valid. I mean, this is so freaking useful, which is why I made it. So yeah. Surf Panther Ryan is saying, I want O'Shaughnessy eggs. That's my New Year's resolution. Osaleta will be a bonus to that boy. Yeah, you know what, Ryan? That is a great resolution. And what he's talking about is we're working with Kaluma O'Shaughnessy, the one I call the shamrock chameleon. And it's a incredibly cool species. It's a Kaluma like Parsons, but it's just this bright emerald green and this turquoise blue, and the females have this such a cool palette on their flank. Males have the nostril process like a parsons do, and it's just such a nice species. So I've been working with it. A couple other people have been working, wanting to get involved, and so that's a species to watch. It's a very cool species. Got a Christmas gift for my boys. Herpstat 4 spider web. Oh, that's nice. You know what? The Herpstat is the only um, Herpstat is a an environmental control module. And the thing nice about the Herpstat is it's the only one that I can find that allows you to control humidity different between day and night. Every other one that I've run into, especially the cheaper ones, it's just if they do humidity, it's just one value of humidity. It's like, guys, does nobody take a pulse as to what we're doing in the community, our reptile community? Nighttime humidity is drastically different than daytime humidity, and it's an important aspect of her husbandry. So, Herpstat's a good one. It would be great if you would sell them, Bill. Yeah, there's a couple of other things that I have that I want that are really useful that I think I need to sell. I need to sell. Hello, Richard in San Bruno. Very good to see you there. Surf Panther getting oh yeah. Yeah. Um, but James, I think Ryan actually has, I think he already has a pair. Ryan, refresh my memory. Do you already have a pair of O'Shaughnessy, or are you looking to find a pair? Let's see, Ron says on my second 3D printer. Got the first one is the Anchor Make, and the newest is P1S Bamboo Lab. Oh, what kind do you have again? I have a Fire Forge, a Flash Forge. Sorry, Flash Forge Guider 2. Yeah, the PS1 Bamboo Lab. That is the one that I was really looking at getting for my next one, and I promised myself I would get that model when I made something and I put it up on Etsy, and I was going to pay it off by selling this kind of stuff. So you know what? Maybe I would just do that. I mean, even I want to be able to give away these files for free. Uh, I that's just I have a strong sense that I know it costs money to get these things done, so I do struggle as to what do I charge? At what point am I cheating myself? But I really want to give these files away. So, but you know what? I can still sell them even if I'm giving the files away because not everybody has a 3D printer. And what I'll do is I'll get a better 3D printer that is good for production. Because I mean, this thing takes almost 2 hours to make. And so, yeah, you don't get much production out of your standard 3D printer. That's the one thing about 3D printers. You need like a whole farm of them to keep up with a production. And so, but I'm thinking, yeah, I could get a nice Bamboo Labs one and pay for it by whatever I sell from what I make of it. Frere Miguel from Belgium. Hello. Nicholas is in Rialto. Let's see. Black Friday might have deals on 3D printers. You know, a nice thing about Nicholas, the thing is, I've got PayPal credit, which is really cool because I can purchase something and I get 6 months to pay for it without interest. And so, if I can figure out a way to sell $1,500 worth of stuff on Etsy over 6 months, then I can get a 3D printer and it can pay for itself. That sounds like a good deal to me. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Let's see. Diva says my chameleon has 2 times mist and fogger and night plus dripper, but I think she is dehydrated. Well, Diva, that's something that you're going to have to look into and figure out if she is dehydrated, because if she is, then something is not working. And that's the part of what we do in chameleon husbandry is we just do a baseline and then we figure out what's not working about it. I mean, we got you've got a mister and a fogger, so you have everything you need to make sure she is hydrated. So you just have to figure out the right combination. I mean, we've got people on here. James is on here, and he's been able to keep his chameleons hydrated with just a fogger. So you've got everything you need. You just have to figure out the right balance of things, and that's going to be different for everybody. Let's see. Jennifer says, if you make $20 an hour at a normal job and it takes 2 hours to make one fogger holder, that's $40 for, yes, yes, Jennifer. Yes, that is not lost on me that this, there's an opportunity cost with offering things for, with a built with a 3D printer. Bill, have you ever had a baby chameleon that constantly wants out every 2 seconds? No, I have not. They generally enjoy being hidden in their cage. So that's all I got to say. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Etsy. Yeah, I don't know. You know what? My wife Yvette, she does crafts already, and so I may just piggyback on her stuff. She's playful chameleon. Okay, let's see the shamrock. Let's see. Ryan had a female for 3 years. They were talking about the shamrock chameleon. O'Shaughnessy. Got his full-grown adult. She passed away recently, old age. She lived happy and always had a full belly. And relit the shamrock flame. So I'm in the market. All right. Excellent. Excellent. Glad to have company. PayPal credit. Exactly what I did. Yeah. That's a powerful tool if you're using it to produce infrastructure that will pay for itself. Yeah. All right. Update on my shamrocks. They are doing well. I have a number of females that I am certain are gravid, so that'll take a couple of months. They take, well, I think 2 to 4 months, something like that. So they're not the month type like Veils and Panthers. Right now, we're going through some horribly dry weather, and so they are all in and with the humidifier going. So we'll see in a couple of months if I get the eggs that I expect. And that would be incredibly good news. Incredibly good news. And I hope that I am able to share that with you. So we shall see how well it works. So all right. Christoph has joined us. My female Xanth is big, round, and pregnant. Can I do something to make her life better? Oh boy. Well, when a Jackson's chameleon is big, round, and pregnant, you just give her the food and water she needs and privacy, because they start to get a little bit more sensitive around this time. And when she stops eating, it's going to be a couple of days and you're going to have babies. So I'm going through that right now too. Now, I don't know what's up with mine. Mine is a female who constantly looks like she's getting pregnant and then she absorbs things. And so I have no idea if she's going to go through with it this time. Hello from Texas, April. Hello. My male chameleon eats small stones. Is that normal for chameleon? I'd say it's not unheard of. People do it, but I mean, chameleons do it, but it's a sign that we in the chameleon community are not that comfortable when our chameleons do it. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know why chameleons do it, but it's yeah, I'd keep an eye on that. So, do they only drink water or use any other way to hydrate? Well, chameleons will breathe in moisture. They will take liquid water through their mouth. Those are the two ways that they hydrate, as well as through their food. So But the thing is, only if your chameleons are dehydrated and you've got a mister and a fogger, you just need to figure out how to better do the misting and the fogging because that's all you need, and they'll do great. So don't look for novel ways of doing this. It's a chameleon. You just got to figure out what's not right in the combination. Okay, we got a bunch of people who want to hold. Let's see. How can I get my veiled chameleon to eat more dubia roaches? Well, April, that depends on why they're not eating dubia roaches to begin with. Um, and there's something about dubia roaches that some chameleons just don't like. And it's hard to tell which chameleons are going to like the dubia roaches and which are not. Uh, I am lucky that all of my chameleons pretty much will take dubia roaches. Um, so if you want to, but chameleons do focus on a specific favorite food, and so if you want to get them out of that rut, you would have to reduce the food intake and what you present to them. I would say, skip a feeding or two, and then offer them a dubia roach and see if they'll eat it. Um, if they don't like the taste, then they will resist more than if they are just not taking the dubia roach because they like worms or something like that. So you just experiment with it and see what you can do as far as behavior modification. Hunger does amazing things for chameleons, and we do a lot of feeding that to the point where they have more calories than they need, and so they start to get picky. I actually have changed a lot of my feeding habits. And if I can, I just feed one dubia a day. I mean, I know that's different than my care guide. So, care guide's a good place to start. But with me monitoring, I just like to give them one or two bugs randomly through the day because that's what they're getting in the wild. They don't get a food cup with five different insects there. They see something, they zap it, and that may be all they get during the for the day. And so when we do it that way, when I only offer them one a day, it maintains that wild sense of urgency to get the food, and it avoids them getting picky, which is what happens when they have too much food. Christopher is digging up veiled eggs. All right. Well, it's still exciting, even though they're infertile. Do you have, in fact, about 20 to 40 cages always ready when the baby's getting born, or are you started when they are here? Christoph, I always have 20 to 40 cages available. Now, it is a bit of a problem because I only have the 20 to 40 cages available. And so when I have a surprise clutch, when I'm already taking care of a clutch, that's when it gets dicey. And that's the situation I'm in right now. So I'm hoping she holds off for a little while. But yeah, I decided a while ago that I am not going to breed to the point where I am getting chameleons beyond what I can handle as far as infrastructure. And I know we're all good, at least the old timer here. We're all good at putting them all in a bin and then separating them out. And as they get more and more beating up on each other, we separate them out. That's just a compromise in husbandry. And I say, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go on doing that. And so, yes, I have produced nursery setups. And so I am ready for a clutch, and I'm doing the absolute best I can to only breed one clutch a year. Now, this Jackson's, who's coming and gumming up all the work, she was bred 2 years ago and didn't produce any babies. And so I assumed, okay, that didn't take. So why she's coming at me right now, this was unexpected, uninvited, and unintentional. So yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to deal with that. Jim made it. Hey, hello, Jim. Let's see. How to get a veil to eat the roaches? Tell them it's not food. That's right. That's right. Veils to do whatever. Let's see. Hey, Jim. So this is Jim Reckbust. Do the same with no feeding for several days, and then they eat dubias here and there. It just depends on the chameleon. All right. Hello, Facebook user, but Facebook doesn't tell me who you are. So uh, go ahead, put your name at the end if you want me to know who you are. Otherwise, I will say, and good evening to you, Facebook user. Um, let's see, we got some questions about how long should I leave a chameleon out? You know, it's going to be different for every chameleon, however long they want to be out. I don't take my chameleons out. I just leave them in the cage, make sure the cage is a place that they want to hang out in, and they generally stay put. But if you're going to bring them out, then you just keep an eye on when they're done being out or you're done having them out. Do female parsons slow down eating when the weather becomes colder and we enter winter? Not brumation, but slow down. I generally see that with most chameleons. Yeah, as things get colder, they do slow down. Whether the species brumates or not. James is adding in. Never had a problem with imports. As far as feeding, parasites would be the only issue. Yeah, the imports are actually better feeders, and they'll eat just about anything until they get domesticated and they figure out that they have more food than they can eat, and they get tired of. They lose that edge. Hi, K110. In France, it's very hard to come by silkworms or superworms. Mealworms are common. Is it okay to feed mealworms sometimes, or better to make them hatch? Better to feed crickets and dubia roaches. Mealworms are okay. I know we have this whole community that is up in arms, pitchforks, torches, who say mealworms are evil and will kill your chameleon. That's not correct. Mealworms may not be as nutritious as other things, but they are fine feeders. The reason why the community is so up in arms against them is because of the times where people would have chameleons, didn't have the greatest health in chameleons, and they just fed mealworm after mealworm after mealworm, and so there was too much of the chitin, and it was just too much mealworms. And so, I mean, you can do that with superworms. It doesn't have as much chitin as a mealworm. You feed too much, and they'll want to throw it up. Uh, but yeah, mealworms are just fine as part of a diet of a healthy chameleon. You get an unhealthy chameleon, and they'll do all sorts of crazy stuff. So, yeah, I know that just blew a bunch of people's minds because they've been told that mealworms are evil, but they're not. They're not. I don't use them. I wouldn't use them as a staple, just like I don't like using anything as a staple. But if you're going to be using something as a staple, I'd want it to be more nutritious. But the whole demonization of mealworms is not necessary. Female Jackson, jealous of all the attention of the Shamrock Chameleon. Yeah, well, she had her time where I was sitting there trying so hard to get babies, and she denied me. She said, "Nope, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it." Tell ya. Karina has a male veiled named Green Bean. Good name. Hello, Troy. Let's see. Some was place on Amazon has 4x2 acrylic panels. Work great on screen enclosure. Okay, if you want to close in your screen enclosure, sounds good. Quite like me. Oh, Pete Hawkins. Well, hello, Pete. It's wonderful to have you here. I mean, I can call you a Facebook user. I mean, we can just stick with that if you like that. Um, all right, trying to find other worms in France. Yeah, we're in the United States. We are spoiled. We have so many theaters to choose from. It's very nice. I do not take that for granted. Um, how do I know if my female veiled chameleon is receptive? If I put the male cage right next to her, but I don't know if she's ready. Well, she'll let you know. If you put them together, she will either gape and trying to scare the male off. It is not subtle. It's not something that you need experience to recognize. She will make it very clear she's not in the mood. And then you separate them. If she is receptive, she'll let him come up to her and be very calm as he does the deed. So it is actually quite simple for veiled chameleons, and even a beginner should recognize the signs of a female who doesn't want to have anything to do with the male. So don't worry about that. Not with a veiled chameleon. There's other chameleons that yeah, it's tricky, but you're in luck with the veiled chameleon. They are very communicative. Oh, Wildcat has the same roach in his cup for like 3 months. Yeah, it gets to the point where you start feeding the roach in the cup, and just out of curiosity to see how long your chameleon will keep his pet roach. April says, "Where can we buy a chameleon from you?" I don't have. I often do not have. I do not have chameleons for sale often. I don't. I'm not a retail breeder. I do have babies because I breed for creating the educational content. And to keep myself up, I use all sorts of different methods for breeding. I test them out and I figure out how to do all the different ones. And so I do some breeding. And so I do have them available at times. And the best thing to do is to sign up for the Chameleon Academy newsletter. And you can sign up for that on the website, chameleonacademy.com. The thing is, these social media platforms do not allow you to do sales. And YouTube's a little bit more, you can get away with a little bit more here on YouTube, but things like Instagram or Facebook, and this goes on to Facebook, they are militant that if you sell things, they will take down your account, you will lose everything, and they don't care. So I I can't sell. And I like the newsletter, which is going out tonight. I have some special deals because there are some Europlatus, the leaf-tailed geckos, and actually there's a very cool chameleon offer. But that's in the newsletter, and that's going out. There's a special deal with leaf-tailed geckos and another chameleon that I'm putting together, and hopefully it'll be available. And these have been in. There's a very cool way to start with some pairs, but yeah, I can't talk about it. I can't do any offers here. It's in the newsletter, so I encourage anybody here who wants to wants to have a little bit deeper look into what goes on with the Chameleon Academy and the offers. I have discounts. People who give Chameleon Academy readers, members discounts. And so I put that in the newsletter. So I encourage you, go ahead and take a look at the newsletter. That's where I'll put information when there are chameleons available. And people, please don't PM me, DM me, anything. Everything has to go over to the newsletter or the email. I won't even risk it. So we can't talk about, other than what I'm doing now, telling you where to go, talk about it, but we can't talk about it on social media. Would be cool to see you show a male shamrock on camera. I do love a big Jackson's chameleon too, though. Okay, about that. It's very difficult for me to show chameleons on camera on these live sessions. And one reason is because they never look good when I pull them out, and the camera doesn't do a good job. That said, things are changing. I am getting a new camera that is much better at changing the focus. And I'm going to be doing some things that are a little bit different with this live uh, going forward. And so over the next couple of lives, you're going to see a lot of some changes going on here. First thing's going to be the background. But I will be able to bring Chameleons on this live show in the very near future. And so um, hang tight, hang tight. I know it's kind of strange having a Chameleon Academy show where we go an hour without seeing a chameleon. And so I'm going to be working on changing that. But yes, and I will absolutely bring on a male shamrock. Have you used banana roaches? Are they a good feeder? Karen, let me tell you about banana roaches, green banana roaches. Um, yes, I have used green banana roaches. In fact, right now I have quite the colony of green banana roaches. They are, chameleons love them. They're green, they'll fly, they're fast. Chameleons love them. They are horrible feeders, in my opinion, because you have to hold them. You have to hand feed when you use green banana roaches, because if you don't, they scurry in a flash of a second, and they find some dark crevice to hide. They come out at night, and so it's very difficult to feed them. They can climb up plastic, glass. They can fly, so it's difficult actually getting them to the point where the chameleon can eat them. But if you hold them, the chameleon will absolutely go nuts for them. So once a year, I'll hold a green banana roach for my chameleons to eat. But other than that, they're my pets, because they are so easy. They get out and they scurry. And but you know what? The cutest thing, when they fly, it's not an aggressive flight. It's like a cute little fairy flight. You get this pale green fluttering and it is so cool. It's like something out of a Peter Pan movie. And they don't zip around. It's like a flutter, 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 flutter. So they're so cool. I love them. I love green banana roaches so much. Um, my daughter wants to know if chameleons can hang from their tail alone. The answer is most of them can. Chameleons, they have, when they have the long tails, fully prehensile. They'll be able to hang from them. Um, the smaller chameleons, and like the Namaquensis, the Namaqua chameleon from the desert of Namibia, those tails are not really meant for, they're more terrestrial animals. And so those tails are shorter, and so they're not all chameleons are going to be able to effectively hang. Now, the Brachysia, the little small ones, they can hang from their tails. But when you get to the common ones, panther chameleon, veiled chameleon, Jackson's chameleon, they absolutely can hang from their tail alone. In fact, one way that I pick them up is when they are on my arm here, I will put my finger under their tail. And as I move my finger, the tail will wrap around just naturally, because the chameleons use that to anchor. And as it really wraps around my finger, I can then just lift them up off of my arm and put them on their branch. And it's a way to get them to move without prying them off something, because they have very delicate feet, and so you want to be very slow, very careful when you have them out. So yes, they do. As far as the most of the ones that you would run into, yes, they can hang from their tail. Now, I've never seen green bean hang from his tail. Now, they can, but they need a reason to. The tail is used as an anchor. It's as they're walking through the trees. It's a fifth hand, and it's grabbing onto other branches to make sure that they stay on the branches. But there's not a whole lot of use in hanging from their tail. I mean, what would they? uh, you really, there's no reason for them to do that. It doesn't get them anything. But that said, the tail is muscular enough to handle that with no problem. Definitely be signing up for the newsletter. Yay. Okay. So for those who want to sign up for the newsletter, go to chameleonacademy.com. And then there's in the menu, there's a menu item that says newsletter. There's also a pop-up that comes up. And so you can either sign up on the pop-up or on the newsletter tab. And then after you do that, check your inbox, your spam. You're going to be spam folder. You're going to be getting an email saying, "Hey, did you really mean to do this?" It's my way of just making sure that there's no accident. And you say you confirm. You say yes. So you're not on the list until you confirm from the email box that you signed up with that you want to be on the list. So look for that email. I just went round and round with James trying to figure out how come he wasn't getting the newsletter, and we just had to go through all sorts of stuff to figure it out. Eventually, we figured it out, but sometimes these email providers, I mean, they're looking out for spam. They don't want these things that are sent to multiple people. They say, "Okay, do you really want that?" So you have to. What's a good idea is on the when you sign up, you'll get a verification email, and then you'll get two emails that come as an introduction to what's going on at the Chameleon Academy. If you on the second one, I say, "Tell me a little bit about yourself." If you respond to that, then your email provider says, "Okay, they want this email because it was responded to," and then I get to know a little bit about you, which is cool. Um, yeah, but sometimes you do have to find it. Sometimes it gets stuck in the spam folder, and if you don't open them after a certain amount of time, you're removed off the list, because I do not want to clog up anybody's inbox if they don't want this email. So, yeah, sign up, try it. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. And I do it. I send out an email every month and sometimes in between if there's something to say. I don't do this thing where you're going to get something every week, because if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to do it. I'm only going to send something when there's something worth sharing. Your shamrock picture, awesome. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It is amazing. This is an amazing species. Uh, yeah, I love the shamrock chameleons. We really would benefit from using insects that are active during the day. Anything besides flies and grasshoppers I'm missing? Uh, yeah. I mean, you got it right, Christoph. This is. And by the way, let me verify. This is Christoph, right? Do I remember that right? It's always fun trying to connect real life names with screen names. This has been a challenge for us in the chameleon community for so long. So dubias, crickets, superworms, these are all nocturnal insects. And that's not a coincidence, because it's a whole lot easier to breed and keep nocturnal insects than it is ones that come out during the day. But that's a different nutritional makeup. So chameleons obviously have been okay with that, but as we try to refine our husbandry, we're really trying to get more diurnal insects that would be more like what their bodies are expecting. And so this is what Christoph is asking. It's more challenging, but let's see. I believe you're in Europe. We now have people trying to start businesses to breed diurnal insects here in the United States, and so that's really what it takes, is someone who is dedicated enough that they want to start the trend. It's not easy, but I think that they benefit from insects that are active during the day. It just makes sense. But I don't have any. The thing is, we've done so much chameleon keeping with insects that are out during the night, and I don't know that anybody has tried a long-term study as to the differences in a chameleon. And I'm not sure exactly how to do that so it would be the most effective test. But at this point, I don't have any information that says that going to a all diurnal diet would give us a whole lot more benefit. I'm not saying it wouldn't. It would make sense that it would, but I don't have any evidence that it does. And one thing is we'd have to identify what's missing out of the diet now. What health thing is could be affected. Now, it could be that now somebody switches to an all diurnal insect diet. All of a sudden, there's something that comes up that we never thought to look for. Go, oh my gosh, there's no more vitamin A deficiencies. There's no more of this, and so that would be an indication that we all need to do it. But I mean, it's all part of the exploration that we're doing here and figuring things out. So much to figure out. Oh, let's see. Jane finally got the newsletter. Yay! Definitely awesome. Gave me something to read through. Enjoyed it very much, especially the write up on the Namaquah chameleon. Yeah, last newsletter did a write up on the Namaquah chameleon. And there will be one coming out probably tonight. And I'm working on that one. And then the next one, you'll get a couple in November. The next one's going to be announcing the live session. That's going to be in the middle of next week, after I have all the confirmations for all the guests. I'm going to be putting together a schedule so everybody knows which guests are when throughout the 8-hour live session, so you can come if you have a favorite guest. Of course, if you enjoy just hanging out with me, well, then you can be there anytime or all the time of the 8-hour session. Yay! Okay. Remember some small studies with D3 synthesis in diurnal insects? Yes. So we could potentially skip D3 supplementation completely. Well, actually, Christoph, whereas yes, this is the way to think about it. The big question that we're missing is, how about the vitamin A, preformed vitamin A? Yeah, we know that carotenoids are present in chameleon eggs, so they definitely use carotenoids. But do they need preformed vitamin A, and would they get that from certain insects during the day? I mean, we know it's found in the organs of vertebrates, and so it's very rare in insects. Maybe that's it. Now, D3, you can do UVB. UVB can take care of the entire need of D3. We've already done, and I know I've been part of that experiment. We've done experiments with keeping chameleons for years without dietary D3 and only with UVB, and it works fine. So the only reason why we would need D3 is if there's a need to have D3 and vitamin A coming together. They're antagonistic. They have some sort of relationship. We don't fully understand it. I like to give them together just in case. We don't even understand it with human medicine. Let's see. What's your opinion on black crickets? I love them. They're meaty, don't jump. Yes, they chirp louder, but a lot is easier to feed. Ron, I absolutely love black crickets, except for the fact that they bite. They can give a nasty bite to your chameleon. Other than that, I really like them because you're right, they're very meaty, and chameleon just love them. So the whole biting thing it shouldn't happen. But if the crickets get out in the cage and roam around the cage at night, they could find a sleeping chameleon. So, just things to consider. But yeah, I love black crickets too. I've read that chameleons can eat snails. Yes. Do you know if aquarium snails would be okay, or is it wrong information? Yes, they do like snails, especially Jackson's chameleons. And I don't know about the snail species or the aquarium snails. Now, I do know that snails are the intermediate host for trematodes or flukes. So, how much of a problem that's going to be is to be determined. I mean, obviously, parasites are very host specific, so I have no idea if the trematodes in North America or wherever you are in France, if they would be at all compatible with chameleons. So I don't know if there would be a danger there at all. And if they're aquarium snails, maybe they don't have them to begin with. So there's a whole bunch of inexperience that I have around snails because I don't use them. But generally speaking, they are chameleons enjoy snails, and so if you got a good clean snail free of parasites, then I would say that's fine. But like I said, I don't know much about the species of snails and that kind of stuff. April's asking, have you heard of the term snalts? What is this and why is it not concerning? Okay, so that's generally what we see at veiled chameleons. Will have this ring of white powder stuff around their nostrils, and that's just salts that have come out of whatever the chameleon is drinking or eating, and they discharging salts around their nostrils. And why is it not concerning? Because it's just a natural thing that they do, and so it doesn't harm them at all. It's just part of a natural process. And so we look at it, we go, ha, ha, let's take pictures and post it on Instagram, and that's about it. So it's not nothing to worry about. It's not a health thing. Now, I don't know what things they are getting that they are extracting the salt out of, and is getting too much of that a problem. So is it an indication that they're getting too much salt? I don't know, but it's certainly something we should keep our eye out for to expand our knowledge of chameleon husbandry. Where would you get snails? Well, as Ann, a number of us would just, like here in Southern California, I know breeders would just get a bunch of snails from outside, and then they would breed them, get the eggs, and then they would make sure that they only fed a whatever was raised in captivity, so there's no poisons or whatever in the system. And then the ones that are raised in captivity would be able to be they're considered clean, and the chameleons would eat them. And so you get them from wherever is around you, and then you breed them. Now, as for commercial places for where you can buy snails, I don't know. I haven't looked, so maybe there is some place out there. I don't know. Just asking because aquarium snail easily. Well, and honestly, I personally would have no problem trying it out. I think that's nice and safe. So experience in it, so I can't tell you it's safe or not. But if I had an aquarium and I had a bunch in it, I would do it. Do you know when or even if Tanzania will allow exports next year? Christoph, no, I do not know. We keep hearing every year we hear a rumor about Tanzania opening again. And what was it? Last year, it actually did open for 24 hours and then it was slammed shut. Politics again. So uh, there seems to be always some discontent over the ban and people trying to get the ban lifted. And there are strong government officials there that apparently want the ban in, and so they keep it shut. Now there was, I think it was last year, there was a change in president, and this new president was pro business, and so lifted the ban for that 24 hours. But then for whatever reason, it was slammed shut. I don't know what happened. So I don't know if they will ever allow exports again. but I also know that there's a lot of change going on, so maybe it'll happen, and maybe we'll be surprised. Um, it'd be interesting. We had a scare with Madagascar. I haven't checked the when is the presidential election in Madagascar. Can anybody check so I don't have to do this while I'm doing live? Check when is the election presidential election in Madagascar. It's supposed to be in November, and so I'm wondering what day it is. Um, and the reason why this is significant is because one of the challengers it was president a while ago and was responsible for instituting the ban on wildlife exports. And so it is possible, if this challenger wins, that we may see a sudden stop in exports. Now, I don't have any inside information. He didn't clear this with me, but we just know who he is. And if he gets in power, well, things may change very quickly for reasons other than scientific studies. So this is, you just see how fragile whatever situation it is, export situation is totally fragile. Which is why if you're working want to work with the species, you better do it now. You better do it while they're being exported and establish that species while there's no market. I know it's really tough because when they're wild caught come in, they're so cheap, but that's when you have to establish a breeding group, not when it's shut off. Yeah. Yeah. And we've got so many species that we've tried to establish once they've shut off. And it's just so hard. And you're so limited when it comes to bloodlines. See, November 9th. Okay. So that's happened already. So they should know who the winner is. I don't know how long it takes to figure out who the winner was. Um, so is this Pete Hawkins again? My favorite Facebook user. Can you guys? Okay, so November 9th. Does it say that we know who won? If it was the incumbent or if it was one of the previous, I forget what his name was. Anyway, uh, and if whoever it is who wins decides they want to shut things down, then whatever quota has been released will be fulfilled. So some will still go out, but then there just won't be any more quota offered. And so I know a number of people did not ship from Madagascar, did not ship during the summer. And so in November, this is it. We should be seeing a bunch of shipments from Madagascar. So we'll see. So it, so it'd be very ironic that if this guy won and decided to shut down Madagascar, you may see a whole lot from Madagascar, but then may just totally dry up. And this is how temporary things are. It can go quickly. And those of you who have been around for a while, I mean, this is what happened with Madagascar before. All of a sudden, slam shut. And all these species that we used to have, totally gone. So that's why you get these old timers are very appreciative of these opportunities and taking things like the shamrock chameleon, taking it very seriously right now while the opportunities there. We got some people who are going to be breeding snails. All right. All right. Hello, Destruction Warehouse. Let's see. The wild are chameleons selective about their bugs or whether they eat anything that moves? They will generally eat anything that moves unless they have had a bad experience with it. So if they got something that stung them, bit them, or tasted horribly, they will remember that and they will avoid that in the future. But other than that, if it moves, they're going to go after it. They will. So, insect, bird, rodent, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If it moves, it goes in. So, okay, none has gotten the majority. Interesting. So, yeah, so guys, this is something where we look for what's going on with what's going on in the world and how it can affect us. And so it'd be very interesting. Let's keep watch on what's going on as far as this election. It could have major implications to us in the chameleon community. And, you know, this may be, we just have to take it seriously. Who knows? Madagascar may stay open for the next 10 years. We don't know, but this could be the last month that Madagascar ships for the rest of our lifetime. You don't know. And this is, we've seen it happen before. I mean, Tanzania just slammed shut suddenly, and we didn't expect that. Didn't expect that. There were no warnings. There was no, okay, this is going to be it. It was all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. So, this is why when you hear me talking about establishing a species in captivity. This is the sense of urgency. It's not just a fun project. It's like, I won't say life or death, but whether we have chameleons in captivity, the certain species or not. And it literally is that. We used to have Kinyunga multituberculata. Most of you don't know what that is. It's a very cool little species from Tanzania. It has the blade nose, very hardy, long lived. Mine lived over 10 years, little guy, over 10 years. Incredible tail. Very, very, very cheap from Tanzania because they were widespread. Someone bred them and couldn't find homes for all the babies, so stopped breeding them. Tanzania slammed shut. There are none in captivity. Most of you don't know what this species is, and it's a shame because it's such a cool species. So they can disappear just like that. It was postponed to the 16th due to pre-election unrest. Oh no. Okay, so we've got 5 days to figure out what's going on. Hello, Precious Candy. Two Turtle Tom looking for an episode. That episode had some corruption, and so unfortunately, it was messed up, and it's very, very difficult for me to pull it together. It was Two Turtle Tom's looking for an episode of the podcast. The file got corrupted and my backup drive got smashed, and so yeah, it's things like, yeah. So anyway, it's a mess. So unfortunately, tutorial time, you're not going to be able to find that. But if you're looking for how to take care of Honelli, just take care of them like a Jackson's chameleon, and you'll be fine. They come from the same areas. So, oh, this is a meeting one. You know what? It's kind of cold in here. I'm going to put on my special Chameleon Academy hoodie. And it's coming to the end of the show, but I want to talk about this question that Christoph has. Whew. Oh. How many pairs do you need to establish? Didn't you talk about 10 pairs? Scratching my head how to care for so many pairs and the amount of babies. All right. Not Ron. This is Christoph. Christoph, this is a huge topic and a huge problem and a conundrum. Yes, it takes, they say 50 individuals to establish a population and 500 to avoid genetic drift. Those are scientist think tank numbers. I have no, that I didn't make those up, and we can debate those all the time. But yes, it is incredibly difficult for any one person to have 10 pairs because, and in fact, I have quite a few, and I'm trying to make sure that the breeding doesn't go to the point where I all of a sudden have 200 babies, which would be kind of a success, but it would be horrible as far as me trying to keep them properly. And also, when I saturate the market and don't have rooms for all these, that kills breeding projects so quickly is when a market is saturated. And so we've got to be very careful how we go about establishing like the shamrock chameleon, which I'm doing. And we got to be very careful how we do this. And there's no human, I mean, panther chameleon breeders do have 10 pairs and they work through that. But I truly believe that the only way that we are going to be successful is to embrace this concept of small batch breeding. And this is where you spread those 10 pairs out over 5 to 10 different people that are all loosely working together, not like a club or a cult or anything like that, but just in communication with each other. And so we have to spread it out because say I was able to handle 10 pairs and I was juggling 10 pairs. If anything happened to me, the species would just disappear. And we've had that happen so many times. I can name the species: Daramensis, Multituberculata. We had the main breeder, almost lateralis, almost carpet chameleons, but someone took over. And once that main person goes, the species disappears. And so we need to, am I using the word right, decentralize? We're needing to spread it out. And that would be small batch breeding. That's going to be the major theme of my Chameleon Academy in 2024. And I'm going to be using the Shamrock Chameleons to try out this system. I already have a number of people that say they would love to breed 1 or 2 pairs of Shamrock Chameleons, but they don't want to go through all of the social media and stuff. They just want to enjoy it. And that's really what I want to introduce to the chameleon community, is this breeding for the enjoyment of it, not trying to make it a business. Because when you try to make it a business, you all of a sudden your mindset shifts to smaller cages, sterile cages, making it so you can take care of 200 chameleons. I mean, you have to do that if you're going to be doing those numbers. But that's not why we all got into chameleons. We love relaxing in the room with a large, well-planted chameleon cage. It's relaxing. That's what we wanted. And it's like almost when we get into breeding, we wake up one day and realize, wait a minute, this is more stress than it is enjoyment. How did I get here? It's very easy to slide into that. And when you have a whole wall of sterile cages, and you say, is it really fulfilling to just create more and more and more chameleons? Or was it fulfilling when I had 4 chameleons and beautifully planted cages, and I could sit back and I could watch their behavior, and I had names for my chameleons? So let's I truly believe that small batch breeding is literally our future. I think it is the most important concept for the community to embrace. I don't have all the answers as to how to make it work, but that's we're going to work through it. I'm going to work through it. I've got a number of people who have been wonderful. Yeah, Eliza Ann is one of those people. James is another one of those people who have said, hey, we want to be part of this. We want to try it. And so we're going to experiment with it. We're going to work it, and we're going to see if we can make it work. And if we don't, for whatever reason, well, we'll try again, and until we do make it work. And but I believe that's very important, is to figure out how to do it as a community instead of having one person have the whole weight of the entire species on their shoulders. It's just not a good. We need to find a better way. So yay, yay, please join me. And for all those who like Shamrock Chameleons and want to be part of this, you just hang out here. It's going to be more than a year before I have babies that are able to go to new homes. And so you have an entire year of hanging out with me on the lives, and I have an entire year to build up the whole information infrastructure. You have over a year to plan to be part of this, and we have a year to talk amongst ourselves as to how is this going to work, how can we make this work. And so it's more than just breeding chameleons, it's creating a community dynamic. And I'm glad we have a year, because that we need that to build this, so it's something substantial and meaningful, instead of just, okay, we had fun, we got excited, and then it all just dissipated, and we didn't and everybody lost interest. And I had that with the last time I tried to establish a species, and so I'm learning. I'm learning, and so if anyone can do it right, you can. But thank you very much, Destruction Warehouse. Do other parts of the reptile hobby do small batch breeding? Curious if it works for other reptile hobbyists and what it looks like for them. They are trying. This dynamic that I'm talking about is the same for every single other reptile group community, but there is none that I know of that really knocked it out of the park. Two Turtle Tom, who may still be on here, I actually owe him a call. He was part of the Conyxis project collective or something like that, where they worked with Conyxis tortoises, and they did something like this. And so I'm going to talk to him and see what I can learn from him. But mostly this is a relatively new idea that people are talking about, and it's easy for individuals to make that decision that I am not going to have more than two pairs. All it takes is self-discipline, and then you only have one clutch and all that. That's just self-discipline, and that can be done by anybody. The real challenge is, how can we get a community of 10 people to at least stay in loose contact, where each one of those has a breeding pair or two of this species, to the point where, and every one of there is of the mindset that we're going to grow this, instead of the mindset that so many people have of, I want to corner the market, I want to be the only one with this species, and so I can drive the price up. Yeah, and we've had so much of that. We've had so much of that in the chameleon community, and I tell you what, all it ends up with is a no somebody selling species, but no community is built from it. And so yeah, there's where Liza, and as far as I know, we may be the first ones to try this at this scale. And so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Love your live streams. I bought a devil's ivy as I am setting up to get a panther chameleon, but it's Epiprenum pinnatum, not Epiprenum aureum. Just want to know if it's still fine. It's still fine. We're just talking about different species, but yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Howard, what the heck? You're coming just as I'm shutting down and saying goodbye to everybody, but Howard shows up. Well, you know what? At least you showed up in time for me to say hello. And Salty Carnivore says, I might breed Jackson's chameleons. I want to say, Salty Carnivore, if you're going to do that, go into it with a lot of thought. First of all, only breed your Kenyan species, Kenyan bloodlines, and then really have a plan. This is a difficult market to try to sell Jackson's chameleons. So I tried it. And I would encourage anybody else to continue to try it, because I would love to see it happen. But make sure you have a plan for what you're going to do with the babies, and just know it's tough to sell them. It really is. So I'll see you tomorrow when we clean. Are you going to be watching this show tomorrow? Oh, over on Instagram. Ha ha ha. Okay, I know what you're saying now. Yeah, what Precious Candy is saying. Yeah, for all of those who want to do chores, every Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific over on Instagram, I turn on the live camera. It's not a show. It's just me and anybody who wants to join me, and we do chameleon chores. I make fruit fly cultures, bean beetle cultures. I make little plates for my crickets. So we're gonna do chameleon chores together, and so you're all invited. If anybody's on Instagram, you're all invited. And I think I'm going to do my fogger cleaning during that time. So it's just a fun time for all of us to get together. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to have to close down here. Let me do, okay, I'll do one last question there from Field Beast. My chameleon won't eat off on my hand, but will eat the insects in the cage. Want to have a closer bond with my chameleon. Everybody says that you have to hand feed. Any idea? Yeah, hand feeding is the best way. Be patient. Just be patient. Figure out what your chameleon loves and offer that by hand. I would also say just keep offering whenever you feed, offer the first one by hand, and then the rest of them go into the dish. And if they don't eat the one by your hand, that's okay. You can elect to not feed them if they don't take it from your hand for one meal, and eventually they'll get used to you. They'll get used to, hey, I can eat before sooner if I eat from this hand. So you just be patient. Just keep doing it. Familiarity will help. So all right, everybody. Eliza Ann. Oh, I'm sorry. Eliza, I am so sorry to have you to be the reason that you get another social media. Social media is such a pain, but but I'm glad. I am honored that you got a YouTube account so you could hang out with me here. And if you get an Instagram account so you can hang out with me there, I promise I'll at least make that time fun for chameleons. But yes, don't get caught up in social media. I'm here because it's an outreach. It's what I do. But yeah, there's a lot of a piece that comes with not having it. So well, we got somebody else sign up for Instagram to participate in chameleon chores. Yes, chameleon chores. Oh boy. Annabelle, thank you very much for joining. Precious Candy, really worth it. Okay, I'm glad you enjoy those chameleon chore day. And Annabelle, thank you very much for joining. Everybody, really appreciate you coming here. Remember, sign up for the newsletter if you want to get those special offers that I've been able to put together, and you'll get the newsletter. And it's been wonderful having you here. For those of you who want to do chameleon chores, I'll see you tomorrow over on Instagram at 8 p.m., 5 p.m. Pacific. And other than that, have a good weekend.